The shield media is the worst, and I have an example for you.
You don't know the power of the Nerd Way.
I know the MCU is garbage right now, but back in its infancy, the MCU was the stuff of legends. Live action Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Captain America. They were a nerd's wet dream. And I needed a towel. But this new generation, unfortunately, this Gen Y or Z or whatever they're calling themselves, they are made up of the dumbest, softest brained people on the planet. They're trying to take their feeble-minded, present-day social justice fecal matter and trying to apply that to what came before. It doesn't work. It's a poor attempt at them trying to sound smart. It's not working. What I'm talking about here is CBR. They have an article about the MCU's Phase 1 and how terrible it is. Their take? Extremely uncreative and extremely unintelligent. It reeks of a modern day intelligence. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but if you guys want to read it, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can check that out, but here are a few examples.
Avengers, assemble!
Phase 1 was a huge origin story. And the normies coming to see these movies probably didn't know who these characters were at first or how they got their powers. And the villains they faced, these were the characters that were more connected to them from the comics. Captain America, well, everyone knows he fights the Red Skull. The Hulk, early on, it was General Ross who was always hunting him down. And Abomination, well, he's one of the more popular villains in the comics. Ironmonger, he's one of the big Iron Man villains. And do we really need to talk about Thor's relationship with Loki and how they hate each other? These villains help set up everything. I mean, everything that was to come in the first 3 phases. They were the bedrock of the MCU's bad guys. Everything that came after them was thanks to them. If you have a problem with these villains, then you ain't a real Marvel fan.
Avengers, assemble!
Of course, they feel low. Thanos was the big bad. The MCU needed to work up to him. The villains introduced in the original Phase 1 were never going to be as big as Thanos. But you need to start somewhere. You need to think of the first 3 phases like a book. Phase 1 is Act 1. It introduces the heroes and the inciting incident. Act 2, or Phase 2, that is the heroes figuring out who the bad guy is and how they're going to stop him. Act 3, or Phase 3, is finally when the heroes and the villains clash in the finale. So no, Phase 1 will have low stakes. They're saving the big finale fight for the end. If the author of this had any brains at all, he would have figured this out. Unfortunately, he was probably told just to write something so CBR could have some content to put out, and he probably just typed something up and said, hey, it's good for me. It's not good for real fans.
Avengers, assemble!
Of course they are. How stupid can these people be? I already said in the beginning that the normies coming to see these movies have no idea how the characters they've come to love ever came into existence. They've probably never even read a comic book in their life. So yes, you need origin stories to help these people along. Once again, I'm going to go to the stupidity of the writer. And the way he writes, it feels as if he doesn't understand how real writers write books or characters from movies. I think this guy just must sit in front of a computer and just slap at the computer and hope words show up. And then, he hands that to his editor, and his editor, who's probably just as dumb as he is, looks at it and goes, yep, that works for me. He's just as simple-minded as the writer. This article is the damn dumbest thing I've ever read in a long time. And if you click on the link below, you will understand my frustration. Like I said at the beginning of this video, the recent offerings from Marvel are flaming garbage.
This is some hot garbage!
They're terrible. Nothing in Phase 4, excluding Spider-Man, No Way Home, and in my opinion, and I am in the minority of this, Doctor Strange 2, none of that is worth your time. Avoid it. Avoid it at all costs. As for CBR and their website, I would avoid that too. I can't say for certain, but I think they're staffed by fake nerds. They want you to think they know what they're talking about, but as a real nerd, we can smell them fake nerds from a mile away. There's nothing they can do that lets us know that they're real nerds. What you should do, though, is subscribe to the Nerd Way. Real nerd. Right here. Subscribe. Like this video. Comment on this video. Let me know what you think about it. And I want to thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.